Wow, it looks like Tron. Yeah, I can sleep in my fucking crazy-ass car, although this exhaust is pretty hot. But between this refrigerator and the exhaust... Anyway, it's very versatile, despite what some people might think. I'm going to try to crawl back up and into the front here quickly and explain to you a video that I just screen recorded from my own device. One sec. Good thing I'm flexible, huh? Anyway, so bottom line is I'm about to put up this screen recording, but before I do, I think it's really important that people understand why I didn't put up the whole thing. Because at the end of the day, the original video was like some obscene length. And it was all magic, don't get me wrong, but there was a 8 or 9 minute section that was particularly powerful that I needed to crop out of there and edit. And I put it in black and white because it's really what it is. It's just black and white information. This woman, who I now regard as a daughter and she now regards me as a father, I had only just met a few hours prior. And at the time I'd met her, actually I should say that the time that she met me, one of the first, she came up to me. I had an entourage around me at the time, bodyguards and stuff, because it was very, very recent, about 4 or 5 days. I think it was exactly 5 days. No, it was 4. 4 days prior, somebody tried to kill me. I had mentioned this in another video. A guy named Anthony Faria Vasquez. He basically performed a life death on me. He stole my identity. He stole all of my earthly possessions at that time of value. A couple of cars. I had reported them stolen. I'd just gotten out of the hospital. I put myself into Central Florida Behavioral Health because I knew legally that the Orange County Sheriff's Department, who were involved in the attempt on my life and my family's life, I might add, couldn't touch me there because I was in the care of the state. So I voluntarily went in there by acting like an alien. I rehearsed a bunch of lines for a movie I was doing, and it worked, and I was able to get in there. And of course, when they did my blood panel and my urinalysis and stuff, they were like, this guy's clean as a whistle, and his blood's the most amazing we'd ever seen, and he's not positive for anything drug-wise, sans Buspar, which even that was fading through my system rapidly and was gone by the time I left. And the only reason why I was on that is because I had a lot of anxiety living the lie I was prior to revealing to the world my true nature. And I went off all of that stuff, cold turkey, no withdrawals, just eating and drinking and doing the things that I always, needed to do to maintain this mindset I have got. I've been doing it for a long time. I was in the Marine Corps, youngest Marine ever to be selected for Presidential Guard duty, still to this day. And for this girl to come up and introduce herself to me because I was wearing rainbow and all this stuff she vibed with, and then start telling me about music and how she'd only ever sung for her soon-to-be wife, I was like, wow, like, I would love for you to sing for me. She's like, well, I've really never sung for anyone else. And I was like, well, why not make me your second, And at the end of the day, she was very intrigued by this rental car, this BMW that I had. I was in a Mustang, but the thing was a piece of shit. Fucking leaking, like buttons didn't work, all this fucking nonsense. Anyway, so I went there and I got this BMW at this place that I had gotten the cars from. They were the only place that would rent me a car with no physical ID or credit card And they did it on promise because they trusted me. Action car rental. Thank you, by the way, once more for that. Changed my life. Helped me to get a little bit of it back. The one that motherfucker stole from me and his friends. Then I go into this BMW. The engine basically blows up on it within 48 hours of getting it. Not even 36 or so. But it was just in my possession long enough for this girl to see it, vibe with it, and sing about the Beamer Beamin' in that song. I'm not a big fan of BMWs. I did work for BMW for quite some time, specifically with Minis. But when you own a BMW, especially the higher end ones, plan on basically being in a fucking service loaner for 25 to 75% of your ownership experience, because they're over-engineered. They're not like American cars. You know, most German shit is over. Actually, it all is over fucking engineered. BMW isn't a particularly bad brand. Neither is Mercedes. Mercedes. Volkswagen, Audi, those two, horrible. I really do mean when I say that they have been gassing this world like Hitler originally was doing with the Jews. Go and watch season 1, episode 1, Dirty Money. The name of the episode is Hard Knocks. They try to even insinuate that General Motors has done some of this shit. They haven't. God's Motor Company? No. GMC? No. Whatever the case, however, you know, all these other brands associated with it, even Porsche. Ferdinand didn't want to be affiliated with Hitler and his bullshit, but he was in a difficult situation, being that Hitler was the leader of fucking Germany, and Mr. Satan, aka Hitler, you know, reincarnated as such, he forced him to do it, and he did. And he designed the Beetle, aka the People's Car, not really, aka a continuation of Auschwitz, but that was just the first, and they made that shit for fucking longer than any other car, I think. 2002, I think, is when Mexico finally stopped making them. Maybe even later, 2012. I don't fucking remember. Something to that effect. A long goddamn time. A long time they made that car. But they've since made a lot of others and have remained in the top 2 to 3 automobile manufacturers in the world. And really the only two brands that are satanic are Volkswagen and Audi. And the German automobile manufacturers are somewhat guilty by association. Like I said, BMW and Mercedes, but only because of what Hitler did in Germany, not because of anything that was there at their inception. I mean, Mercedes invented the car, for fuck's sake. So I think that there needs to be an overhaul of the infrastructure within those companies, not Volkswagen. I think that just out of merit and what it is that they've already done and has already been proven, they need to go out the window. I don't think that their cars should be getting sold anywhere ever again. I think at recent calculations, they're responsible for 158 million additional deaths just since the ending of the gas chambers. So if you thought 6 million was a lot, 158 million, I mean, come on. Like, we're talking a sizable chunk of the human population. And that's just since 1938 or whatever the fuck it was when that company rolled around. Porsche needs to break away and be at the helm of the Volkswagen Auto Group. No, we'll just call it the Porsche Auto Group. And then they can take on Lamborghini and Bentley and Bugatti and Seat and all these other brands that are fucking wonderful brands. French, Italian, British. And maybe they all just need to fucking go back and become their own separate entities as they once were. But at the end of the day, we gotta get rid of the fucking Volkswagen Auto Group. Just Volkswagen and Audi. 4 loops, Fourth Reich, fucking Volkswagen. It's a fucking permutation of the fucking swastika. Take the logo, you will see if you just move some shit around. It's exactly what it is. And at the end of the day, this girl started singing a song about the shit she's been through. Raped by her paternal grandfather, a blood relative of hers, for many years. Her own, bio mother didn't even believe her when she confronted her about it. Her father, pretty much non-existent, ironically named Michael. I'm going to be there for her, and I have been. She knows that, and I always will. And I'm hoping that her bio father comes around. But And there's nothing that says you can only have one dad, you know? You can have as many influential individuals in your life that help make your life better as you possibly need. And I need her as much as she needs me. All these flows you've been seeing me do, I mean, I've been able to sing music for my entire life, pretty much, but I've never been able to just free flow. Her name is GATTACA, we call her, but her birth initials, G-A-T and C. I mean, that's the sequencing of human DNA, and she affects it. She stops time. She has a way of manipulating it in a positive way in love. She, just being in my presence, stopped time right before my eyes. And on top of that, she gave me this ability to flow. And we had just met each other in this current life. I've been reincarnated many times, as has she, which is why we know one another's energy. But when you watch this video, I think it's very important you understand that this girl didn't have lyrics. She was flowing, just like me. And the poem that you hear in the second part, she definitely wrote. But it's affecting people. And I didn't feel like I could put it up until now, because people aren't watching my videos in the numbers I would have expected. No one's sharing them. No one is proselytizing their message. I think it's because it's so